Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like you know exactly what you need to do to improve your life, but you just don't do it? You save videos about building discipline. You watch motivational speeches at 2 in the morning. You make a promise to yourself, okay, tomorrow I'm going to change, and then tomorrow comes, and it looks exactly like yesterday. Here's the truth that nobody seems to talk about. Your problem isn't a lack of motivation. It's not that you're not smart enough. And it's definitely not that you're lazy. The real issue is that you're trying to change your life with actions that are simply too big to repeat consistently. Today, I want to tell you a story. It's not about incredible talent or some overnight success. It's about small habits, the kind that are so tiny, they almost seem useless. And it's about how those seemingly insignificant habits quietly create the most disciplined and successful people you know. So stay with me, because this might completely change how you see effort forever. There was once a man who nobody really paid any attention to. He didn't have a big social media following. He wasn't getting any praise. There was no dramatic glow-up story to tell. Every single morning, he woke up at 5:30. Not to grind, not to hustle. He just made his bed. That was it. One day, a friend of his laughed and said, "Is that really your big secret habit for success?" The man just smiled. Because what his friend couldn't see was everything that came after that one small act. After making his bed, he would drink a single glass of water. After that, he would write just one sentence in a notebook. Not a whole page, not a chapter, just one sentence. And some days, that was all he accomplished outside of his normal routine. Years later, that same man was running his own successful company. It wasn't because he was magically smarter or more gifted than anyone else. It was because he had learned to trust himself. And that trust was built one tiny, kept promise at a time. Let's be completely honest with ourselves. Most people don't fail because they aim too low. They fail because they aim way too high, way too fast. They tell themselves things like, starting Monday, I'm going to wake up at 4 a.m. every day. Or I'm going to work out for an hour every single day without fail. Or the big one, I'm going to completely change my entire life this week. And what happens when they inevitably miss one day? They quit. They give up entirely. Why? Because big, audacious goals rely on motivation. And motivation is an emotion. It's unstable. It's temporary. It comes and goes. Real discipline, the kind that lasts, isn't built by intensity. It's built by repetition. Your brain doesn't really care about your dreams or your grand ambitions. It cares about what you do often. It's wired for patterns. And that's precisely why small habits work. They are too small to trigger resistance. They slip right past your fear of failure. They don't activate your procrastination instinct because they're just too easy to argue with. Let me explain something incredibly powerful. Imagine you improve your life by just 1% every day. On its own, that sounds like almost nothing, right? It feels insignificant. But if you do that for 1 year, you're not just 1% better. You are 37 times better. That is the magic of compound growth. At first, small habits are boring. They're invisible. Nobody is going to be impressed. But over time, they become an unstoppable force. People don't see the quiet, consistent mornings. They only see the final results. And they say things like, "Wow, you're so disciplined. I wish I had your willpower." But it's not about willpower. You just learned how to make discipline easy. Here is a dangerous myth that holds so many people back. The idea that discipline has to mean suffering. It has to mean grinding, forcing yourself to do things you hate, and being miserable in the process. That is completely wrong. Real, sustainable discipline is all about design. You don't rely on willpower, you reduce the friction. So instead of saying, "I'm going to read for an hour," you say, "I'm going to read 1 page." Instead of committing to, "I'll write for 2 hours," you just say, "I'll open the document." Because once you start, momentum often kicks in and carries you forward. But even if it doesn't, you still won, because you kept the promise you made to yourself. And keeping promises to yourself fundamentally changes how you see who you are. Every habit you perform is like casting a vote. It's not a vote for a result, it's a vote for your identity. When you show up, even in the smallest possible way, you are sending a powerful message to your brain. I am the kind of person who follows through. That belief, that identity, is everything. Once you truly believe that you are a disciplined person, your actions will naturally start to align with that belief. Success doesn't come first. Your identity does. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. And small habits are what build systems that don't break under pressure. Now, one of the main reasons people quit is because they don't see results fast enough. They work at it for a week or two and say, "This isn't working," or "I'm not changing at all." What's even the point? But what they don't realize is that progress is happening quietly, under the surface, like roots growing underground. You can't see them, but they are building a strong foundation. The moment you feel like quitting is often right before the breakthrough happens. Small habits are a test of your patience. They are asking you, can you trust this process even without immediate applause or validation? The people who can answer yes to that question are the ones who ultimately win. So, here's how you can actually apply this to your own life, starting today. First, pick one habit and make it embarrassingly small, so small that it feels almost silly. Second, attach it to something you already do every day. This is called habit stacking. For example, after I brush my teeth, I will do 2 push-ups. Or, after I open my laptop for work, I will write 1 sentence for my project. Third, celebrate your win immediately. It doesn't have to be a big celebration, just a small, internal acknowledgement. A smile, a mental checkmark. Say the word "done" out loud. Your brain learns and forms habits through positive emotional reinforcement. And fourth, and this is the most important rule, never miss twice. Missing once is human. It happens to everyone. But missing twice in a row is the beginning of a new negative pattern. That's it. No more waiting for motivation to strike. No more waiting for the right time to start. Just tiny actions, repeated day after day. One day, people will look at you and ask how you changed your life so dramatically. They'll be expecting some heroic, complicated story. But you'll know the truth. It was boring, it was quiet, it was small and unseen. And that's exactly why it worked. So start so small that you simply can't fail. Because true, lasting success doesn't come from a few moments of heroic effort. It comes from the habits that show up even when your motivation doesn't. If this video helped you, don't just save it, use it. Pick one small habit, start today. Thank you for watching.